everyone, and welcome to a video that's going to be completely different from pretty much anything I've uploaded before. I'm going to be talking about finances on YouTube, how much a channel of mine might make or does make. I asked in my previous Hearts of Iron 4 video if anyone would be interested in hearing a little bit about it, because I've been watching quite a few videos recently on how much kind of YouTube channels make, and I wanted to give my kind of comparison and my thoughts and chat a little bit about it. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about is how much I make roughly for 1 million views on YouTube. I'm in a network called the Yogscast, so that means I can't really go into detail about my current month because, you know, they take a cut and I can't really kind of go into that kind of detail. But what I'm going to do is show you analytics from a year ago before I joined the network, and give you a bit more information about how my channel's doing now compared to then. So I will be quite upfront and actually show you the back end of YouTube. Oh my god. I will be quite open and kind of show you how much I made for 1 million views this time a year ago. Complete transparency, my ad rates now are a little bit higher than what they were back then. And I think that's mainly due to my watch time increasing a little bit, which increases because I've increased the length of my videos by 3 to 4 minutes, and that means I put an extra mid-roll on my videos, hence why my ad rates have gone up and more monetizable views have increased. Now, one of the channels that I've been following recently is a chap called Graham Stephan, and he's been very open with how much he makes on YouTube with his advertising revenue, and it is absolute god tier. If my estimated revenue was anything like his, I would be very wealthy. I'd probably be on at least $400,000 US a year. So I'll have the image up on the screen right now. So for 5.6 million views, he generated almost $70,000 US in income. That is insane. I've never seen ad rates that high. It's probably because all of his videos center around investing, buying and selling property, all of that business, which advertisers seem to pay more to appear on. It's incredible. So on his channel, this is just this particular time frame using his analytics. Of course, advertising revenue will change all the time. It's not set in stone. It varies month to month. December's usually better. January is usually absolute trash. So the middle of the year, public holidays will probably see an uptick in revenue, or big sales like summer sales, then you'll see a little bit of an uptick in revenue. But just based on this analytics, if he had 1 million views, that means he generated $12,468 US of advertising revenue. That's the cut that he gets paid. So that's 55% of what YouTube was paid for those ads. YouTube takes 45%, and YouTube partners get 55%. Now, I'm also in the Yogscast, so a percentage of that 55% goes to the Yogscast, and then I receive the other bits and bobs. I can't go into details into my contract, but that's how it works. I don't think Graham is in a MCN or any kind of partner network. He's just partnered with YouTube directly, so he gets to keep all of that $12,468 before tax. That, for 1 million views, I have never seen before. That is, as I've said, it's god tier. When I look at that, I cry. It's insane. So what I'm going to show you now is how my CPM or ad revenue compares to Graham's. What you see here is my analytics of 1 million views during the range of the 1st to the 12th of June 2018. It's definitely not as high as Graham's. So if I move my webcam down here, you'll see that during that time period, my channel generated an income of $2,733 for a total of 1 million views. Not all of these are monetized. Unfortunately, the back end here doesn't actually show you the monetized playbacks anymore, and I can't show you the CPM because it doesn't have it. But if I work it out, that means that I earned an average of $227.75 per day from YouTube. So if we take Graham's advertising revenue of 12,468, and if we divide that by my one of 2,733, his CPM is 4.56 times higher than mine at this time. So I've just divided the days in the year divided by 12 days. So to give you an estimate, a very, very rough estimate of what kind of income my channel generated just from YouTube in like 2018 or nowadays, if I was to maintain 1 million views every 12 days, and if I times that, so if I take 2,733 times it by 30, that'll give me an income of $81,990 a year before tax. So that to me is a large sum of money, as I'm sure it is to pretty much anyone that's watching. To have an income of $81,990 a year is, I'm very lucky. Obviously this isn't the exact amount that I earn every year. Hopefully you're still watching at this point, because now I'm going to go into details of other revenue sources and how that also will increase the total amount that I would have earned in a year theoretically. So I also have various other income streams. So I have Patreon, I have Twitch, I have sponsorships. So occasionally a company will sponsor a video on my YouTube channel. There's donations, which people might donate to the channel on when I'm streaming on Twitch. There is also merchandise. Merchandise is tiny. Merchandise does not provide me with pretty much any income. I've tried to push it before, it just doesn't really sell that well. I also have affiliate links such as Humble Bundle or the Paradox Store, and then if I appear on a Yogscast stream or a Yogscast main channel or someone else's channel on the Yogscast, then I'd get a bit of revenue from what that stuff generates as well. So there's like 7 other different types of revenue that kind of come into play in addition to my YouTube advertising revenue. I worked it out, and I believe it was 66% of all of my income in my previous tax year. So that would have been my tax year of, in England, it's done April to the end of March. So from April 2018 to March 2019, 66% of my income was just from YouTube advertising revenue. The other 34% it came from all of those other 7 different sources, as I've just mentioned. So, if we're taking that 81,990 as an accurate figure, which is not, it's just a rough kind of estimate, 34% of that would be an additional 27,876. So then if I were to add that to the 81,990, that would mean that I would have had a total income of $109,000 US dollars, whereabouts, almost $110,000 US dollars, which is a considerable income. I think anyone generating over 6 figures on YouTube can safely say that they're in the, I guess, the 1% of earners in their country, I would imagine. I'm going to look up the average US salary. So the average 2017 income, median income per capita, was $31,786. So say my earnings were $109,866. If I divide that by the average US income of $31,786, that's 3.4 times the average US person. And if I were to convert it into pounds, which is what I actually end up getting paid in, then that would have generated £86,805. So if I do a quick look at Social Blade before I go on to what actually I spend my income on. So although that figure of £86,805 is not an accurate figure, it gives you an idea of what my channel, or any channel of my size, that's the kind of income we need to kind of be thinking about. I would say that a channel of my size getting around 3 to 3.5 million views a month and with the other additional income streams of which I've mentioned, we'll probably be getting an income close to, I'd say £100,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Really depends on how savvy a business person business person is, how many ads they have on their videos, if they have the additional income streams that I do. So you kind of need to take that figure with a pinch of salt or grain of salt or whatever. I don't know. I'm not good at talking about this stuff. They predict that I will earn between $12,000 and $203,000 a year. Social Blade does not give you an accurate estimation. It's so wild. I don't really know how to explain this properly, but if you have 3 million views a month and every video of yours is monetized and you're only getting $1,000 a month, then you're doing something very, very wrong. It should be at least 8-9 times higher than that. So if you're getting 3.3 million views a month, you're going to be wanting at least like $9,000 a month before any expenses. YouTube is a very unstable place to earn an income. You can kind of see, I'll bring up the Social Blade again in a minute, but I just want to reiterate that if you think that it's very easy to make that kind of income on YouTube, you are very wrong and naive. I have worked full-time since I was 19. I'm turning 30 this year. A lot of the jobs that I was working in were minimum wage. I was working in like retail or leisure. Eventually got a couple of office jobs. And then the most that I earned as of an hourly wage was my job before I took on YouTube full-time, which was $21.50 Canadian an hour, which is just under, I've just put this into Google, which is just under $16 US. So that was the highest amount of income that I was earning from a job that I'd ever done. And that was working in marketing for a large company. I was a contractor, but that's how much I was paid. From about 2013 to 2017, that's about 4 years, most evenings I would spend working on my YouTube channel. It's only in the past 2 years that I've been able to do YouTube full time and to have that kind of income that we've kind of calculated throughout this video. I am very proud that I've been able to consistently average between 2.5 to 3.5 million views a month since I've started doing YouTube full time. It's very difficult, at least I found it very difficult, to keep an audience engaged for that long. So I guess similar channels such as myself, like Drew Daniel or iSorrows, their viewership is probably 1.5 times to 2 times what mine is. And for a time, we were kind of at about the same level of viewership, and then they both spiked, whereas I've just kind of stayed trundling along. So last summer, I was probably at around 2.5 million views a month. Now I'm between 3 to 3.5 million views a month, so it's on a slight trend up, but it's not a huge amount. But I'm still very proud that I've been able to keep this going for 2 years full time and very sustainably. But in 5 years' time, who knows? My channel might just go poof, die, because the YouTube algorithm is very fickle and it's very difficult to maintain a sizable audience on YouTube. So it's only because of all of you that I'm able to do this. Mid-rolls. Just want to talk about mid-rolls for a second. So as you know, on my videos, there'll be mid-rolls throughout the video. Mid-rolls take my kind of income from earning similar to what I was doing professionally to what I'm earning now, which, as we've worked out, is higher. And I will be keeping the mid-rolls in. So I get the occasional comment complaining about the amount of ads. It's only because those amount of ads that I'm really able to earn the current level of what I'm doing. And I need to keep that going for as long as possible, because my prospects, if YouTube doesn't work out, it's not that great. So yes, I may be earning a decent amount, or a very good amount now, but in 5 years' time, that may not be the case. So I have to look at everything that I earn and see how I can invest it somewhat riskily in order to generate me enough income to live on if I need to for several years. until I figure out what I'm going to be able to do after YouTube is no longer a viable option. So now we talk about the bits that are some. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not consider anything that I give you financial advice. If you do what I do, probably won't go that well. Okay? Up until a couple of years ago, I didn't really have any kind of savings. I lived quite frugally, treat myself every now and then. Now I can treat myself more often if I want to. I often don't. I will usually save a large amount of my income every month or invest it into things that could potentially give me more money in future. So I have an interest-free savings account, an ISA, which is an English thing. I also have an investments-free a tax-free investment account, which is an investment ISA. So those are the two different things that you can get in the UK and have like tax-free accounts on the interest. So anything that I make through those in terms of interest is tax-free. I'll never pay tax on anything that I invest in those two accounts. I'm limited by the amount that I can invest each year in those, and also the interest rates in England are terrible. So even if I put all of my spare money into an interest-free savings account, the return is absolutely atrocious. I have also found that with my investment account, I put it in a medium to high-risk fund, which the bank just then manages. That return has also been atrocious. I think it's mainly due to Brexit, which UK companies their share prices aren't really going up. So that leads me on to the third thing which I've invested in, and that's cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is more like gambling than a traditional investment. It's extremely high risk. And if you're unsure about crypto, then I would not recommend that you invest anything at all. In fact, I'm not giving you any recommendations anyway. This is not financial advice, but I have invested in cryptocurrency. So far, it's been doing quite well. So far. So if I go on to CoinMarketCap, you can kind of see what the values of cryptocurrencies are at the moment. And now a lot of you are probably thinking, well, this is a stupid investment. Why are you doing this? I first kind of came into the crypto market, I'd say around this point here, but I didn't buy any Bitcoin. So when it was spiking, I was mainly sticking to alternative coins, ones which were very cheap, and I only really probably invested maybe £500 to £1,000 total in cryptocurrency, and then the whole thing just absolutely tanked, and I lost money. But again, I didn't buy Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is the most expensive crypto that you can purchase. I started buying Bitcoin at around this point. So when it was around like between 3,200 and like 3,700, that's when I started buying. So I left it probably almost a year and a half, and that's pretty much the entire time crypto was in a bear market. So I've been accumulating coins of various cryptos since the prices have been dropping. Since I've bought most of my coins, it's only gone up. So if I go on to 3 months, it's only really in the last 3 months that I've started putting more money into crypto, it's been going up steadily. In fact, I think that my portfolio is up around 76% in 1 month. That's insane. Traditional stocks, you kind of expect to make, a 5 to 7% return annually? In crypto, I've made a 76% return on my investment in 1 month. But, I really need to reiterate this, but it could all go to zero. So tomorrow, everyone might decide that crypto is worthless and poof, I've lost all my investment. But all the signs point to crypto entering a bull market or a bull run. And a lot of crypto analysts and all of the people out there seem to be predicting that Bitcoin might hit $100,000 in the next 2 years. I don't know if that's true. I don't want to bank on that at all. But so far, a very high-risk investment such as crypto has been performing better for me than my traditional investments. I have not, however, put all of my money into cryptocurrency. That would be absolutely stupid of me to do. I've only invested what I can afford to lose. So this is basically me gambling on a very, very, very high risk investment. And I would not recommend anyone purchasing crypto with money that they can't afford to lose. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So hopefully that's given you an insight into what 1 million views can earn you on YouTube in 2019. There are... Every different category has different CPMs, which is cost per mile based on like 1,000 views. So gaming CPMs are usually quite low, whereas if you're channels such as Graham have sky high CPMs because they're talking about topics such as investing and property, etc. If you'd like me to talk more about what I'm planning on doing in the future with my kind of investments, or where I've gone wrong with money in the past, and I have made plenty of mistakes with my money, or more kind of like what my monthly budget kind of looks like, let me know. I'll be happy to do more videos like this if you want more kind of transparency from me. Hopefully I've given you an insight into, if you work very hard, for at least for me, I had to work hard for years to be at a point where I can earn that like kind of level of income that we've kind of gone over throughout the video. So if you've liked this video, please do leave a like. Subscribe. Very close to 300k. Thank you. And I actually, do you know what? Just to talk a little bit more about how high risk YouTube, etc. is. I'm nearly 30 years old, and I don't currently have a pension plan. I will just, at the moment, be getting a government pension. So pretty much most of my earnings are going towards investments, going towards thinking about buying property, anything that I can do to give myself a comfortable life in the future, because I don't know how long I'm going to be earning money from YouTube, so I need to plan ahead. So I have to be very careful with the money that I'm earning. So this might be for another video, but hopefully you've watched all the way to the end, and hopefully this might have been useful for you. It might not have been, but let me know in the comments below if you're surprised by these amounts. I could go into probably more detail into what other channels might earn. So I don't know if you're interested in PewDiePie or anyone like that, but just that's it. That's it from me. I'm not as dumb as I look. Toodles. Many thanks to Wyatt, Onion Duck, Duke Master, Salty Dog, Aidan, Andrew, Jiggly Crotch, Use Beef, Martin, Sean and Logan for being ridiculous Rambler supporters on Patreon, and many thanks to all the other Ramblers too! Rambler Patreons! Gosh, skiddly darn.